Okay, next we're going to talk about capital expenditures, also known as CapEx for short. I decided this needs its own video because it causes a lot of confusion, especially amongst new people to the commercial real estate industry. Remember, we do not include CapEx in our NOI equation. It is not an expense that we include. So let's go back to our litmus test of what we include in NOI. The first condition is, does it occur inside its own bubble, irrespective of the owner? So I want you to think of a roof, for instance. If a roof is extremely leaky, it just lets a ton of water through. Doesn't matter whether I own it or you own it or someone else owns it, that roof needs to be replaced. So you could argue that yes, it does satisfy, CapEx does satisfy the first condition, which is, does it occur inside the own bubble of the property, irrespective of the owner? So I would say yes, CapEx does. The second question that we come up against is, does it occur on a regularly occurring basis, annually or more frequent? So I would say that CapEx fails that litmus test. Typically a roof will have to be replaced 10, 15, 20 years at a time. It's not something that you have to replace every year, so it would not include that in our NOI equation. So for those of you who are new to CapEx, roofs aren't the only thing that counts as CapEx. We're also talking about furnace, boilers, windows, appliances, elevators, really a whole host of things. Where the difficulty, or the controversy arises, is differentiating between maintenance and CapEx. So if you remember, maintenance we do include in the expense equation, but CapEx we do not. So how do we determine what is maintenance and what is CapEx? I have a simple distinction that I write down that I like to use when making this, when comparing an item, whether it should be CapEx or maintenance. It's not always obvious, but here's a distinction. If you're replacing old parts with new, it increases the value of the building, therefore it's considered CapEx. If you're simply repairing old parts, the building value is not increased, and therefore it's considered maintenance, and therefore is included in NOI. So you don't have to understand that right now. Hopefully I'll go through a couple of these examples and it'll make a lot more sense to you. But remember, replacing old parts with new increases the value of the building, is CapEx. Simply repairing old parts is maintenance, and is included, I should say, in NOI. So let's do a little example here. Little thought experiment. I like using my two buildings, identical buildings, right next door to each other. Both are for sale for $1 million. Both produce an NOI of $50,000. Property A has a 20-year-old roof. Property B has a brand new roof. Which one would you choose to buy? Remember, purchase price $1 million each, both make $50,000. The only difference is A has a 20-year-old roof, property B has a brand new roof. Not a trick question. The answer is property B. Property B has a brand new roof, so of course you would take it over property A. Very easy, I hope you got that one. Let's make it a little bit more difficult though. Say the purchase price is a little bit different. Both properties still make the same $50,000. Both properties have the same roof conditions as they did in the previous example. Property A having a 20-year-old roof, property B having a brand new roof. But the purchase price, list price of property A is still $1 million. B, however, is $1,035,000. Now, which one would you choose to purchase, assuming you had to purchase at the listed price? The answer is, you really have to ask, how much does a new roof cost? If you think that a new roof costs $50,000, then you could argue that property B is better value because you're getting it for $1,035,000. You're effectively getting a $35,000 brand new roof. If you think, however, that a brand new roof costs $20,000, you may as well buy property A and have yourself install the roof for $20,000, and you'll come out $15,000 ahead of buying property B. So very, I should say, extreme example in the sense that you're never going to get two identical properties right next to each other in the exact same condition with that differentiation of roofs. But it's a good thought experiment to kind of think through how CapEx actually increases the value of the building. How much it increases, again, can be subjective and varies. So let's have the same scenario again with property A and property B. Property A has a leaky roof. He ends up spending $4,000 to have a roofer come out and fix the leaks. He patches over it. He does a great job of it. Roof doesn't leak anymore. Does the building value go up to $1,004,000? The answer to that would be no, it does not. It's still the exact same 20-year-old roof. It's just had a bit of patchwork done. That patchwork isn't going to last forever. There could be new holes in the roof that exist. It definitely cannot be compared to a brand new roof. So instead of that $4,000 being added to the value of the property, it's actually added as an expense. Remember what we talked about before, kind of our distinction between CapEx and maintenance. CapEx is replacing old parts with new, which increases the value of the building. Repairing old parts counts as maintenance, so you can count it towards NOI, but not to the building value itself. This will all kind of make a bit more sense as we go on and we talk about cap rates and the risk equation. But for now, remember those terms and how we distinguish between CapEx and maintenance, and remember which one to include in NOI and which one to not include in NOI.